You feel stuck in your job, in your relationships, in your own skin. You try to change. You read the books. You watch the videos. You repeat the affirmations. But something keeps pulling you back. What if I told you the enemy isn't outside? It's not the people who hurt you, not even the mistakes you made. It's your mind, and it has built a prison so perfect, you don't even know you're locked inside. You smile, but you're exhausted. You succeed, but feel empty. You love, but something in you still feels broken. And the worst part? You think it's your fault. But it's not your fault. It's your programming, a secret world beneath your awareness that's been silently guiding your choices since before you could even speak. In this video, we are going into the hidden corridors of the mind, the places where your beliefs were born, where your wounds still breathe, and where the key to your freedom waits. You are not broken. You are programmed, and it's time to see what's been running your life. From the shadows, you believe you are in control. Every day, you make choices. What to wear, what to eat, who to love, who to avoid. It feels like freedom, but beneath that sense of autonomy is an invisible puppeteer. What if I told you most of your decisions, the important ones, were made before you ever had a chance to think? Pause and reflect. Why do you always second-guess yourself in meetings? Why do you freeze up when someone raises their voice? Why does love always feel unsafe or too far away? It's not coincidence. It's not personality. It's programming. Your subconscious mind, a vault of every moment you thought was forgotten, is pulling the strings. And this programming begins early, very early. As a child, you absorb everything like a sponge. Not just words, but energy, tone, silence, tension. So when your mother criticized you often, when your father was emotionally distant, when your teachers embarrassed you in front of the class, your brain didn't say, "That's their issue." Your subconscious whispered, "This is who I am. This is what I deserve." And from those moments, rules were written. I must not speak too loudly. Love means pain. If I succeed, I'll be alone. If I express myself, I'll be rejected. Now, you're an adult, still playing by rules you never agreed to, still navigating a world based on fear you didn't choose. And here's the trap. Your conscious mind says, "I want to grow," but your subconscious says, "Growth is dangerous." So you remain in relationships that drain you. You hold back your truth to keep the peace. You sabotage opportunities, and don't even know why. It feels like you're steering the ship, but deep inside, something else is holding the wheel. And that's the illusion. It's not your fault. You were shaped, not by choice, but by survival. But now, as awareness rises, the illusion begins to crack. And the first step to freedom? Seeing the prison you didn't know you were in. Before you learned to speak, before you knew your name, you were already absorbing the world. And the world was writing your blueprint. The way your parents held you, or didn't. The way they responded to your cries. The warmth in their voice, or the coldness in their silence. All of it became your truth. You didn't know what love was. But when love came with criticism, with rejection, with conditions, you learned that love must be earned, that safety means silence, that attention is dangerous. And slowly, quietly, your subconscious mind began building a map. This map doesn't live in your thoughts, lives in your nervous system, in your reactions, your instincts, your fears. That tightness in your chest when someone disagrees with you. That urge to apologize even when you did nothing wrong. That deep, aching need to be enough for someone else. That's not adult logic. That's childhood survival. Because when you were small, your mind had one mission: stay safe, stay loved, stay accepted. So if that meant hiding your true feelings, becoming the good child, shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, you did it without question, because love was oxygen, and you would do anything to breathe. The tragedy? You're still doing it. You're still seeking approval from faces that remind you of someone who once withheld it. Still sabotaging yourself because deep down you were told, in subtle ways, that success wasn't safe. You built an identity on top of wounds. But now, you confuse the pain with who you are. But listen closely. Your childhood was the script, but you are the author now. And that means you can rewrite the story. But to do that, you must be brave enough to return to the place it began. Not to relive the pain, but to release it. Because the map you were handed as a child no longer fits the world you're trying to build as an adult. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why do you keep falling for people who hurt you? Why do you always end up back where you started? Why, no matter how much you grow, does it still feel like you're not moving forward? Let me tell you something chilling. The mind doesn't seek happiness. It seeks familiarity. And if chaos was familiar in your childhood, then chaos feels like home. So you unconsciously recreate it, again and again and again. You leave the toxic partner and find someone just like them. You quit the draining job and land in another soul-crushing one. You change your surroundings, but not the story you're living out. Because the real prison isn't around you, it's within you. It's the belief that you're not worthy, that you're not lovable unless you perform, please, or prove. That safety means control, distance, or perfection. And so your subconscious runs the same program. Let's recreate the pain, because at least the pain is predictable. That's why healing is not just about feeling better. It's about becoming unrecognizable to your old self. It's breaking the loop, burning the script, and refusing to live the same story one more time. But that's not easy, because the moment you try to step out of the loop, your mind screams, "This isn't safe. Go back to what you know." You feel anxious, you second guess, you self-sabotage, not because you're weak, but because the loop is fighting for its life. And here's the truth no one wants to hear. The loop will not stop until you stop running it. It's not your job to hate your past or blame the people who hurt you, but it is your job to choose a new pattern, to recognize the moment you're about to repeat it, and do something radically different, even if it terrifies you, even if it feels wrong at first. Because every time you step outside the loop, you reclaim a piece of yourself. And slowly, the prison begins to crack. You wake up, and it starts. You're already behind. You're not good enough. Why even try? This isn't a stranger's voice. It's your own. But here's the twist. It's not really your voice. It's the voice of everyone who ever made you feel small, that you unknowingly started repeating. It's the teacher who humiliated you, the parent who compared you, the friend who betrayed you. And over time, their voices became your own internal script. So now, even when they're long gone, their echoes live inside your mind, telling you to stay small, stay quiet, stay safe. And because it's your voice, you believe it. But let's break the illusion. Your inner dialogue isn't the truth. It's a tape, recorded when you were too young to resist. And the more you play it, the more it becomes your reality. Because your brain listens. Every thought is a command. Every belief is a program. Say you're unworthy often enough, and your mind will make it true. You'll walk like it, talk like it, live like it. You'll sabotage opportunities, push away love, reject abundance, not because life is against you, but because your mind has been programmed to expect the worst. So how do you break it? It starts with noticing. Whose voice is this? Is this really me or someone else I've absorbed? Then you rewrite, not with fluffy affirmations, but with truth spoken consistently. I am safe to change. I am not my past. I get to decide who I become. It will feel fake at first. Your old programming will fight it. But repetition rewires the mind. You didn't get programmed in a day, and you won't be free in a day. But every time you speak differently to yourself, you are building a new self, one thought at a time. And the moment your inner voice becomes your ally, not your enemy, that's the moment you become unstoppable. You find yourself in the same kind of relationship, the same arguments, the same disappointments, different faces, same pain. Why? Because trauma isn't just a memory, it's a program. It becomes a loop your mind keeps running in the background until you stop it. When something painful happens, especially in childhood, your brain creates a definition of what love, safety, and connection feel like. If love was inconsistent, if anger was frequent, if silence felt threatening, your mind saved that as normal. Not because it was good, but because it was familiar. And your mind doesn't chase happiness. It chases what it knows. So you grow up walking back into pain. You recreate what hurt you, not because you want to suffer, but because a part of you believes that's what love is supposed to feel like. This is the trauma loop. You might stay in toxic relationships, push away good people, sabotage your own success, not because you're broken, but because your subconscious is trying to keep you safe. To break this loop, you must do something terrifying. Step into the unfamiliar. Feel the old pain. Speak the truth you've buried. Choose differently, even when it's uncomfortable. Because every time you act outside the loop, you rewrite it. You are not your trauma. You are the one who can stop the cycle. You are not broken. You are reprogrammable. You get the opportunity. You meet someone kind. You start to feel happy. And then you ruin it. You say something cold. You create a conflict. You disappear. Why? Because peace feels foreign. And the unfamiliar makes your subconscious nervous. Your mind is wired to protect you, but it can't always tell the difference between danger and discomfort. If chaos was your comfort zone, then calm feels suspicious. If love meant pain growing up, then safety feels fake. So your subconscious goes into protection mode. And that protection looks like sabotage. It whispers, "This is too good to be true." They'll leave anyway. You don't deserve this. And so, you burn it all down just to feel in control. But here's the truth. That voice isn't you. It's your programming. It's the ghost of past pain pretending to protect you. You don't need to fight it. You need to recognize it. When you feel the urge to run, pause. When you want to lash out, breathe. When the fear says, destroy it, choose to stay. Because peace takes practice. And healing isn't about feeling safe. It's about choosing new patterns, even when you're afraid. You are not the saboteur. You are the one who can silence it. You've seen the patterns. You've felt the pain. You've recognized the prison. Now comes the hardest part. Changing the script. Because awareness alone isn't enough. You have to reprogram the very part of you that's been running the show. Here's where it begins. 1. Slow down the loop. Your subconscious thrives on repetition. To interrupt it, you must slow down your reactions. Breathe before you speak. Pause before you act. Notice your autopilot. and question it. 2. Reclaim the trigger. Every emotional reaction is a doorway. When something makes you overreact, that's a message from your past. Ask, what is this really about? Don't suppress, decode. 3. Rewire with intention. Your subconscious listens to feelings, not logic. So you must feel the new belief, not just say it. Affirmations without emotion are just noise. Say them with your chest. Visualize with your body. Believe with your breath. 4. Repeat in stillness. Repetition is the language of the subconscious, but timing matters. The mind is most open during the first minutes after waking and the last minutes before sleep. That's when your guard is down. That's when the programming gets in. 5. Protect the gate. Your mind absorbs what you feed it, so protect your input. Stop doom scrolling. Limit negativity. Surround yourself with content and people that reflect the future you want, not the past you're trying to escape. You are not changing overnight. You are rewiring, breath by breath, belief by belief. Every time you choose differently, you carve a new path in the brain. And eventually, what once felt foreign becomes familiar. What once felt impossible becomes your default. You don't need a new life. You need a new lens. And that lens is created, one conscious choice at a time. Most people spend their lives looking outwards, blaming others, chasing validation, escaping into distractions. But transformation? It begins when you turn inward, when you stop pointing fingers and start asking the hardest question. What part of me chose this pain? Not in blame, but in responsibility. Because healing isn't about fault, it's about ownership. Here's the truth most can't face. You attract what you believe you deserve. If you think love must hurt, you'll find pain. If you think success must cost your peace, you'll burn out. If you think happiness is for others, you'll sabotage your joy. The subconscious doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you expect. So how do you change the expectation? You begin with the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Really look, and say the words you've never heard. I'm sorry you were hurt. You didn't deserve that. I see you. I believe you. I'm here now. It sounds simple, but most adults go their whole lives without giving their inner child a voice, and that silence, it becomes the loudest part of your pain. This is the mirror test. Can you face your own reflection without shame? Can you hold space for your broken pieces without judgment? Can you stand fully in your story and not flinch? Because only then can the real healing begin. Take a deep breath. You've walked through the shadows of your mind. You've uncovered beliefs you didn't know were running your life. You've stared into the mirror and didn't look away. Now comes the most powerful moment of all. The moment you realize the door was never locked. The pain wasn't your identity. The story wasn't your destiny. The fear wasn't your truth. It was programming. It was survival. It was the mind doing its job, trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. But you're not here to stay small. You're here to wake up, to break the cycle, to rewrite the script, to become the version of you that was buried under years of noise, fear, and false beliefs. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You don't need anyone else to believe in you, except you. Right now, the subconscious mind is listening. It's always listening. So speak these words with certainty, with clarity, with power. I'm not my past. I'm not my pain. I'm not my programming. I'm free. And say it again, until the old patterns shake, until the cage crumbles, until your life begins to look like your truth, not your trauma. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. The moment you step out of the shadows, into your power, into your peace, into your true self. And from this point on, you're not running on autopilot. You're not trapped in cycles. You are awake. You are aware. You are free.